What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadow Line production.
Ooh, Henry, you see me today. You see me bubbled up. That's what we talk. But pause. Well, you see me.
That might be a double
You know what
pause,
I mean.
dude.
Hey,
That's
you know what I mean.
That's
You know what I mean.
triple pause, if you want to know.
But Henry, big weekend just went down. Obviously, we had the NCAA wrestling championships that were phenomenal and humongous upsets. But before we get into that, don't forget we went back to the O2 London for Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. And hey, Henry, I don't want to say it, but I told you so. I told you so. We can go ahead and play the clip right here. Roll that clip of what I said before the fight. Roll the clip. Sean Brady's ability to wrestle offensively is greater than Leon's ability to wrestle offensively. So I believe Sean Brady's going to implement that. Of course, hit us with the mixtures, with the up and down, eventually get the takedown, ride out those takedowns, and that has proven to wear Leon out over time. So I see Sean Brady being able to pull this one out. If I had to pick, I would go with Sean Brady.
Yeah.
Boom. I told you. I said it there. Hey.
I thought I told you.
No, you did not tell me.
I went for Leon. I'm the one that said that more likely he's probably going to win by decision or even a submission. That's what I said.
I think you piggybacked.
Can you guys roll the tape?
Go ahead and go with Sean Brady as well. I think Sean Brady's grappling is just going to be a little too much for Leon in a 5-round fight, and I think Sean Brady's got he's got that chip on his shoulder, which they both do. But I just feel like Sean Brady's style is going to be a little more conservative, and I can see him, looking for an arm triangle, like looking for certain things to really nullify this fight, make it boring if he has to, but he will get the victory.
But I look at this fight, Kamaru, and it's exactly how I pictured this thing would actually go. I almost feel like Leon, the blueprint is there, man. Could you push Leon against the cage? Could you really mix the fighting? You know what I'm saying? Like Leon does not know how to kind of move laterally. Like he was just going straight back. So I felt like watching that fight, I thought Sean Brady did a really good job of stalking him, getting him against the cage just that same amount, and then really throwing that overhand to eventually getting that shot. Or even off of here, you got a really nice sweep in the first round. That was freaking beautiful, dude. How he was able to take him off balance. But I felt like it was I talk about Leon really getting dominated, bro. I almost go back and feel like Bilal Muhammad didn't fight the Sean Brady that we've been seeing, the Sean Brady that beat Calvin Gastelum, the Sean Brady that dominated Gilbert Burns, the Sean Brady that just submitted the former champion in 4 rounds. His pressure, his mixing of the takedowns, and more importantly, his top control. His top control is absolutely ridiculous, man. I'll say it and I'll say it again. If you're able to beat a guy like Greg Jones, and he loves competing in the submission game, if he's able to beat a guy like Greg Jones, who's one of the best guys in the world in jiu-jitsu, that lets you know at what level this dude is at. He's young, he's hungry, he's very basic. I think if there's one area that I will say, Kamo, that I felt like he needs to be careful, and there was a time like he would come in without no setup. He would come in and kind of just rush Leon a little bit, and then whenever Leon did catch him, is when Leon was just throwing that simple right hand, because it was for Sean Brady. He needs to break up a little bit of that stocking movement rather than just kind of going forward. And the times that Leon did catch him was just like that. But other than that, he changed it. He chained his fighting through his wrestling and his top control, and just Leon just had nothing to. It's almost like it was just a different good game plan. And honestly, I hate to say it, but just a different level.
Yeah, I said this before. The blueprint is there. I kind of put the blueprint out there when you fight a guy like Leon, because when you really dissect Leon is not a combination puncher. He's not a bop, 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 hit you with combination, slide off to the right, follow up. He's not a combination boxer puncher like that. Leon is very sharp. If he has space, he's very sharp to where he can Want to catch you with something. Want to catch you with this. And he's very good with that when he has space and he's leading the dance. Leon can't deal with when you get in his face and you get rough and you get dirty with him. And you hit him, bop, 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 and you push forward, or you exchange a combination and you push forward. He needs to create space always. So he's going to step back to try to create that space. But by him stepping back, he's giving ground and he's giving ground. And if he's fighting anybody that can change levels and potentially take the fight down to the ground, he's in for a long night. You saw it with myself. You saw it with Bilal Muhammad, and you just saw it with Sean Brady. Anyone that's going to be able to fight like this, that has the strength to just fight like that, you're gonna have a pretty good day with someone like Leon. Now, where I will say that Leon and this is the wrinkle that Sean Brady switched, that you can tell, obviously working with Dean Thomas, they worked on this. It was brilliant. The wrinkle to the game that he switched a little bit is take him away from the cage. This is what he did different than what I was doing.
Right.
I pressured him, took him to the cage, beat him up, take him down up against the cage. But Leon has, and his brother as well, they do the exact same thing. Leon and Fabian, they've gotten pretty good at accepting the fact that I'm going to get taken down, but I'm going to use this cage to get up. And I've gotten pretty good at using the cage to get back up. But Sean,
that's really good. That's really good that you caught that, Kamaru. That's fucking really good. You're 100% right.
Sean would turned him off. I think by the time, I think the last round where he worked the finish in that fourth, I think he shot in for the shot up against the cage, turned him off.
Yeah.
Boom, took him down. Then he started working. And that's just the wrinkle. Once you're able to do something, you're able to do that, he's going to have a long night every time. So, it was just textbook. He followed the blueprint to a T, and he even improved upon it. And so great for Sean Brady. Man, it was a flawless victory, really. And I think, and listen, Henry, I think when you do become champion, by some form of magic or whatever, somehow you become champion, you start feeling yourself. You start feeling like, yo, I got the sauce. I'm that dude now. I'm this. I'm the best. I'm the best. But you still have holes in your game that needs to be corrected. And if you don't take the time to really try to work on that and enhance that game, or at least clean those up, you won't stay there for very, very long.
Yeah.
You saw it with Sean Strickland at middleweight.
So let me ask you, Kamaru. So what were some of the things that Leon should have done that he didn't do in this fight? Obviously, I 100% agree with you. His takedown defense is suspect, and I will say it's a really, really great point, and I think we all need to start doing it. Is don't keep dudes against the cage. You got to pull them off and take them down.
Absolutely.
And I felt like that was one thing that Brady did do well. But if you were in Leon's shoes, what adjustments would you have done? Because he never adjusted, Kamaru. You figured, like, guys like me, bro, like, all right, man, you can see me one round, and the other round, I'm completely different. If you beat me that one round, then I'm fighting you completely different. But Leon never made that adjustment. What was some of the key areas? If you're Leon, what would you have changed going into round two?
Yeah, but it's very Henry. This is very difficult to say because Leon's not us, and I say us in a sense of we're wrestlers first, to where we know what that conditioning takes to be able to chain wrestle and wrestle. Don't get the takedown, but go back in for the shot, or scramble and back up. And if I've lost a lot of energy and I'm a little tired, it's okay. We're going to recover and we're going to be able to go again. But these guys that are strikers first, they get good at wrestling defense and being able to wrestle to a little bit, but they're not great enough to where they could offensively weaponize that wrestling now, that pace and that conditioning. So I would say a biggest thing is you have to be able to do that. And like, that's the difference between like myself fighting a guy like a Sean Brady and Leon Edwards fighting a guy like Sean Brady. Leon Edwards at some point is going to be worried about the energy expenditure when it comes to chain wrestling and scrambling when a guy's trying to take him down, to where I necessarily won't worry about that so much because I'm a wrestler first. I'm going to recover. I understand what it's like to be in that grueling pace. Well, for a guy like Leon Edwards, he doesn't understand that. And so that's when you start to get crazy things that happen. Like in the fourth round, you're getting a lot of pressure on you and you just dive to the mat. You don't even set up a shot. You don't even try to come up and grab the leg and look for an angle. You just dive to the mat because you want to alleviate the pressure, but you're just not well versed enough in the areas of wrestling to know that I don't just dive with my head down on the mat. This guy's just going to slap me, spin around me, and now I've given my back, and now I'm getting beat up again.
Yeah.
And then potentially he got finished.
Okay,
So,
all right, Kamaru, I get it. Let's cut to the damn chase. I'm gonna give you a little proposal here, because at first I was like, all right, man. I'm looking at the welter division. I'm like, all right, man. More likely they're probably gonna do Kamaru maybe versus Ian Gary, or Kamaru maybe versus Joaquin Buckley. But now, you know what I like for you, Kush? Is I would love to see you, because now officially this dude is the number one contender. Tom Brady is the number one contender, not Kamaru Usman. I would love to see the new school versus the old school and see the winner of this fight fights for the title. I mean, we don't have to hear all these dumbass fans say, drop the Bilal interview, drop the Bilal interview. You know what I'm saying? I think there is a perfect matchup for a guy like Brady versus a Nigerian nightmare, Kamaru Usman. What's up?
That's a good point, Henry, because when you look at styles and the way that fights work, myself and Kobe Covington, what did everyone say? Oh, they're both wrestlers. Oh, they're both economical fighters, and they're both this. And you saw what that turned out to be. All right, we cancel each other out. We ain't even try to grapple. Let's bang it out. Pause. And so, hey, this has the potential to be one of those fights. I like Sean Brady. I like the way he approaches the game. And of course, he's training with Dean Thomas now, so that even adds an extra element to the game. So I like them both, but I want to keep that streak of beating all of Dean Thomas's guys.
Hey,
I done whooped at least 3 of his guys, So I want to keep that streak going. But
what I'm saying, okay. So let me tell you right now, come on, because this is pound for pound. We do take the gloves off here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you had your choice, you said, all right, man, I'm going to fight one of these guys at 170 pounds. The fact of what Brady just did to Leon, who would you want to fight? Who would you pick? I think that Tom Brady matchup fucking makes sense. I mean, dude, your win streak of I don't know if it was 16. You had 16
right.
That you're getting ready to take out Anderson Silva for the longest win streak in history, which you've been able to do at the welterweight division. People have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you do have 3 losses, but you really do have 2, man. You went up a weight class and fought the freaking boogeyman, and that fight was close. I feel like this is the perfect matchup. But if Kamaru Usman has to say, I want somebody before I fight for the belt, who is it?
I mean, honestly, to what makes sense would be, if I had to pick the order, I would say Brady, Shavkat, Buckley. Brady, Shavkat, Buckley. That's what makes sense, because winner of Brady and I, we fight for the title next. Because if you look at what Sean Brady just did, you just took out a former champion. And then you fight another former champion. And if you're able, which he's not going to be, but if he's able to get through me, it's hard to deny him that he shouldn't fight for the title. Yeah. Who else in the division has a resume like that? No one, if Brady's able to do that. So that you make a case for him, and he's still in that building process.
All right. Let's cut to the chase, Kamaru.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Why you?
I just want one.
That?
I just want Juan. That's it.
Hey, the order would be, and just based on his performance, because I think it was a fantastic performance, and like I said, I like the guy, and I think, yeah.
Okay, so how does Kamaru Usman get the job done?
So, hey, Kamaru Usman gets the job done by being Kamaru Usman. It doesn't matter if I'm fighting a southpaw, an orthodox. That might be on the way into the fight, but just me being me, I always said it. I'm the perfect hybrid to where I'll nullify any style. Okay. And I'll give him it doesn't matter. I'm ambidextrous with the work. I can give it to him with the left or the right hand, the left stance or the right stance. Yeah. Doesn't matter. So
I tell you what, your style can nullify a lot of his grappling where he's good at. This is why I like that fight. And if Sean Brady really wants it, he would love to add, the Nigerian Nightmare to his name, and I think it makes perfect sense. He could have won,
if I
but now
knowing his
one thing that
coach
wanted to
now,
do it, because it's like me, like I knew I wanted TJ. I knew I wanted a lot of these guys who have come before me, who have become champions. But if Sean Brady accepts, dude, I love it. The Nigerian Nightmare 2025 versus Sean Brady. Dana White, Uncle Hunter, book it.
I know he might want it because his coach might want it for him. So Dean Thomas, I'm watching you. I know you probably telling. I know Dean is probably telling him, yeah, let's go try to get that one next. Let's get that guy next. That former champ. Let's get him next.
Tell Dina White to bring it, dude. But anyhow, man, let's move on. Kamaru Usman, the co-main event. You got Oldberg wins by decision. To me, it was a bit of a boring match against Jan. I feel like in that fight, I will give it to Oldberg, but it was still super, super freaking boring. But it wasn't so much on Carl because he fought the right fight. It was more on Jan Blachowicz that he just allowed this dude to kick him. He stayed in kicking range, and Carlos was able to cruise just by inside kicking and just doing the whole nine. Did he win? 100%. But I also feel like Jan did not make those adjustments, bro. Like sometimes as good as Jan is, he is hit or miss, man. And I feel like what's next for a guy like Carlos Oldberg? I mean, you tell me, Kamaru, how did you see the fight?
Well, I would say this, Henry. It takes two to tango. It does. Excuse me. It takes two to really tango because, and neither guy was willing to step into the fire. Think about it. Neither one was willing to step into the fire in exchange. Oldberg was content with staying on the outside and trying to snipe here and trying to just, counter, but land these little kicks to try to draw out the counter so he can counter. And it was an ugly fight because Jan wasn't willing to step into the fire and create it. There was a couple of times where he did go forward and he did try to press the action, but Oldberg was content with staying at that distance range and playing that game. And that makes for a boring fight. For us to see a finish here, for us to see someone connect and put the fight away and really plant that flag, it takes two to step in there and tangle. And we see it now, even with the younger guys, younger fighters. You see who's one of the best young prospect right now coming up in that, what is it, the bantamweight division? Isn't it a guy like Joshua Van?
Right?
Flyweight. It's a guy like Joshua Van. But guess what? Look at his last performance. He fought a guy that was not willing to engage, to where he chased him the whole time and it looked boring. And so you get that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, Oldberg did win because he was able to play the inside kicking game, but it's, really, there wasn't really a winner in this fight because at the end of the fight, we were going, who won? And that's not what you want if you're Oldberg and you really wanting to stake that claim as I'm next in line. I'm the new face. I should get a title shot.
Is that what he said?
That wasn't necessarily of course he wants the title shot.
No, but did he say that?
Want the title shot? I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember his post-fight speech.
Okay, so he trains with City Kickboxing.
Yes, he's a City Kickboxing guy, and he's been on a roll. He's been doing really well, and I think he's talented. He's really starting to step into the confidence of I'm there. After he was stopped versus my Nigerian brother Kennedy and Zechukwu, he was still able to get back on the horse, turn it around, and string together a series of wins, impressive wins. So I like that for him, but I just don't think he's ready for the title. Definitely not fighting like that. Because imagine that style fight a guy like Ankalaev. It might be one of the worst fights we've seen. So eventually he's going to have to he's going to gain that confidence to step into the fire and go find that finish.
Yeah, no, but
I think he needs another fight.
But not just that, Kamaru too. Like these guys, they really, like a guy like him, he needs to go through the top 5, bro. Like he cannot just pick the number 1 contender. Like he's got to go through it, man. I think that's the fairness. Like fuck it, you went through it. I went through it. You know what I'm saying? When you're a striker's delight, it's like, and that shit, say this shit all the time. It's like a good striker will always fucking skip the line, dude, because there's an entertainment factor in there.
But it's a different game now, Henry.
It happened with Pereira. It happened with a
It's
lot.
a
It
different,
happened with a
but we
lot of
can
these
say
guys at the
that
strike.
happens more now because it's a different game. We can say it happens more now because it's more of we're an entertainment company, by definition now we're an entertainment company. So I would say it happens more often now than back in the day when
Yeah.
you had to fight the next guy and the next guy and the next guy and the next guy.
Yeah, but look at how much the styles have switched, bro. Like styles have switched. Like we got guys like Bilal, Marab, DDP. Like a lot of these dudes are not. They just fucking mix it right, dude. And it's
Right.
able to work. But other than that, bro, I thought the fight night was. I mean, I thought it was okay. I'd probably give it about a C. It's not your typical. I thought there was nothing crazy that really happened, but one of the big news that happened was your girl Molly calls it quits.
Meatball
Dude.
Molly McCann.
Yeah, she retired. Dude. And I thought you said she was going to be in the top 10. Kush.
Whoa, relax.
Can we
relax.
Can we
Whoa,
rewind the tape?
relax. Oh, we relax, relax. What I said is, first of all, how old is Molly McCann? I don't know how old Molly is. We got to see how old she is. But I did see her. Molly is 34 years old. Wow. Okay.
She'll be 30.
No. So she's been at it for a while. Yeah, and so she was. I think she was. I would love to know what her professional boxing record was, because I know I heard she was a boxer, correct? Professional boxer.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's I see. I understand it, and I heard her post fight speech, and she just said, you guys deserve more. I deserve more, and the UFC, the company, deserves more. And if I can't come out here and really deliver that in all facets of the game of mixed martial arts, then I'm not just coming out here for the payday. And you see what she says. She says, I give you all my fucking heart and soul, but tonight, with the performance, with someone on a week's notice, it's not good enough. I'm not coming out here just for a payday, fucking payday. The UFC deserves more. I deserve more, and you all deserve more. So, hey.
Oh, dude, I can see why the Nigerian Nightmare. I can see why he's doing moves in Hollywood.
You like
Black Panther.
You like my Scouser accent? You like my Scouser accent?
Yeah. But I mean,
like
congratulations to Molly, man. I think it's hard to say goodbye. It's emotional to say goodbye. Like I don't think I'll feel the same thing that I felt when I said goodbye to wrestling and MMA, but it's beautiful too to say goodbye. And it's like, thank you. I'm out.
How you did? That's how you did it,
dude. I was legit.
The third time. That's how you did it. The third time.
Crying, dude. I lost in the semis to Nick.
Which time? The second time or the third time?
I'm talking about wrestling, dude. Nah, I get the MMA stuff. MMA's different, dude. But the wrestling stuff, dude, it hurts, bro.
Yeah, you're right, and I will say, yeah, Molly, hats off to you, Molly. First and foremost, just to step in there, to bare your soul, to step in there in 4-ounce gloves and some underwear, some tights. That's just really, you're bearing your soul to go out there and to put in the preparation that you can to go out there and try to accomplish something. Hats off to any MMA fighter that is willing to go through that. So Molly, you've had a great career. Hopefully you've made some pretty good money. Yeah. That has definitely elevated your station. And I like what she said at the end. UFC, if you would like me to go out there and recruit and be an advocate for you guys, I'm here. And I think Molly potentially will get a job if she's willing to put in the same time and effort to work for the UFC. She will definitely. I think she will get a job. There's never a shortage of advocates that you need in a region that's buzzing like the UK. So, hats off to Molly McCann. We're all a fan in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because of course we watch you go out there and compete. So happy retirement, and we love you.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, Kush. Well, I know you weren't there, bro, but the NCAA. Now let's get to the toughest sport on damn planet Earth for all you casuals who have never wrestled. There's a reason why Jones, Uriel Romero, when you talk about wrestling, they're like, oh man, they say they get the chills because Kamaru Usman, they say like, dude, once you wrestle, bro, anything in life is easy. And that's a quote from Dan Gable. And I will say this, man, I'm not gonna say the biggest upset. I cannot. I'm with you on this.
What you
Gable Stevenson goes down. Kamaru Usman, is that the greatest upset in NCAA wrestling history?
Okay, I just want everybody to comprehend, to understand. This is the arena where we compete. I believe, was this the Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
This is the arenas where we go out there and fight.
Sold out.
Look at that arena. Look at that arena.
Rim, dude.
Sold out all the way to the top. So I want you guys to understand just how big the NCAA National Championship, how big that is. And look at that. It's filled to the gill. And what I love too is, look, there's a sea of red on one aspect, sea of orange on one aspect, sea of black and red, sea of blue, like just different fans from different places, different colleges, all there to watch the competition. And yes, Henry, I am so sad because I really was like, I hope nothing comes up to where I can just watch and enjoy the incident. I would have loved to gone to the tournament. I was like, man, I would love to go to the tournament. And Henry, something just always comes up every year, and I can't go. I know. And it's also, I heard not only, first of all, before we even get to the upset, I heard that 45 and 47 was there. 45 and 47 was there. You know,
there, man. So, but let's go back real quick. Can you go back when Wyatt comes out? And I want you to see, man, what happens, like the true belief. Because when Wyatt came out, Gable Stevenson started following him, kind of like, just playing the mind game, which I get it, bro. I understand this shit. I do it too. And he said something along those facts. He's like, hey, man, you can only wear that flag if you're an Olympic gold medalist. Like, yeah, I represent this country. Like that. Like, that's me. What's up? You know what I'm saying? So he's dogging. He's like, that's my territory. This dude stayed focused. He stayed focused. He had opponents there. Dude, I have never seen a crowd erupt, bro. Like I've seen in this match, especially with the president being there. Like, it makes it that much better. But I will say this, Kamaru. It's hard for me to say that it was because of the COVID year. The COVID year allowed people to become a 5-time All-Americans. Like, come on, man. Which
is crazy to me now because
Gable Stevenson won the Olympics in 2021. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like he's still freaking really good, man. He could still win it again. It's a different style, but he did make a lot of mistakes though too, Kamaru. And I will say this about Hendrickson. He fought him early. He didn't allow Gable Stevenson to really take that ground from him. He fought him to the very, very end. And there was a lot of mistakes that Gable Stevenson did, is barely trying to take him down like near the edge. His timing, like, and I think I want to say it was in the first period. Yeah, when he went in for the takedown, like it was like time was up. So his timing was off, like his tactical sense. And then he was playing on the edge and going really big for takedowns when you're close to the edge, and that kind of hurt him. But I will say this: it was Hendrick's night. He made Gable work, and man, and there's not nobody likes an underdog story, but particularly a second lieutenant in the Air Force, and then having President Trump there. Jesus, man, I give this dude a salute.
Wait, he's a second lieutenant in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, did he transfer from the Air Force Academy?
Yeah, he
over to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, so Hendricks transferred from the Air Force Academy to
Okie State,
to Oklahoma State.
Hey, so this is my thing with Gable is because it didn't really seem like, and correct me, Henry, if I'm wrong, it didn't really seem like he was focused all through the summer. He was focused. I'm going back. I'm going to go compete for college. So I'm doing the groundwork to get there. Because when you get as high as Gable Stevenson, Olympic champion, then he's going to WWE, and then from WWE, he's going to football. Now he's in training camp for football, to where I feel like it was just like, I got some time. Let me go win the NCAAs again. To where there's a certain just kind of arrogance, and I'm not meaning like he's just arrogant.
But you're right. But you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a certain arrogance to where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go win that again. To where you don't really respect the game like these guys that are in there day in and day out, that are grinding. And then you come into a situation, and then when you go into it, you start having success because Gable Stevenson was playing with dudes. He was playing with guys, snapping, tech falling guys as a heavyweight. When you start doing that, you kind of validate that ignorance a little bit. You start to validate it over and over and over until you get to a spot where you get a guy that just says, you know what? I'm willing to die in here. I'm willing to lay it all on the line, and I'm not going home without that.
Yeah.
And you get a situation like this. So I would say, of course, hats off to this second lieutenant. I mean, to go out there and pull that upset. I agree with you, Henry. I don't want to say the biggest upset.
I put it top 3.
It's up there.
Can I tell you my top 3?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going with Dan Gable when he was going for his 4th NCAA title, bro. And then fucking lost his last match. That's how I think that will forever be 21. Forever be the biggest upset, dude. The second one, dude, I gotta go with Spencer Lee, bro. Last year, the year before, the year before, how he got chest wrapped by Ramos, dude, and he got pinned, dude, going in the semis, going for his 4th, one of the most dominant wrestlers of all time. And then I might do the Gable Stevenson up there because he was an Olympic champ and he did all that. He was a big favorite, and he ends up losing, man. And then look at that, man. There's nothing like having a military heavyweight go up to President Trump, shake his hand, thank you for what you do for this country, and man, you can almost write a damn movie on this, quite honestly.
Right. I'm anxious now to see what he does after this, because it's great to be NCAA champion, but if he can parlay this and go and win an Olympic gold, I mean, man, he becomes a new American hero, just the way Gable Stevenson
and that tends to happen, dude. So the fact that Wyatt went to the best thing that these guys could have done is went to somebody who has been under Kel Sanderson for so many damn years. You know what I'm saying? And then he's right. I think David Taylor had 2 national champions. He for being his first year,
he's coming.
He 3 in the finals.
He's coming.
Yeah, he's coming, bro. And I think people are starting to see that. And I think with Wyatt winning the NCAAs, and then he had Dean Hamady, who won, DJ Hamady, who ended up winning 2. He beat Keegan O'Toole. I mean, it was cool. But can I show you? Can I show something off, Kamaru?
Wait, before we get there, because I got your 3. You said this is definitely top 3, and I heard your 3 upsets.
Yeah.
So Henry, I mean, we're talking upsets.
So let me see if you know wrestling as good as I do. What are your top 3?
We're talking upsets.
Yeah.
I mean, Henry, I do agree that Dan Gable one, that was pretty, and that's old school too. For wrestling purists, like, we live by times like that because, you know, they say golden ages of wrestling, whatever. But I would put that up there for sure.
Undefeated 2 going in there with the perfect costume.
Yes, I put that up there. But you're missing Brent Metcalf, Darian Caldwell.
Yeah.
He tagged him.
That's a good one.
That year.
That's a good one.
And then comes out and gets just played with in the finals.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we have my boy DC, Darren Caldwell did his thing. Not to mention, we forgot Greg Jones is a 3-timer. But there was 1 year he didn't even get on the podium.
Okay. Was that his senior year? Was that his senior year? Or what year?
That was his sophomore year, I believe. So
he won it as a freshman.
He didn't get on the podium. Won it as a freshman.
That's impressive, dude.
Didn't get on the podium the next year because he was beat by, guess who? First beat by Sugar Rashad Evans.
Oh, yeah,
it's
Sugar
always
got
somebody
him.
like
Really?
It's always somebody like a Sugar Rashad Evans just sneak in there and just ruin your day, you know. But obviously, Greg Jones went out to have one of the greatest collegiate careers, which you could put him right there in that top 10. You know, really kind of revolutionized and changed the style of wrestling. Like all this style that you see now with JB and all these other guys. You know, when you have guys like, you know, I go old school. You got Bobby, you got Kenny Monday, and you got these guys and Kevin Jackson that wrestled like that, and then you got Greg Jones that kind of rounds it out with the flair and the speed and the athleticism and the angles. And then you get guys like JB now. It's just a whole another style of wrestling. But I would say there's been some great, great upsets in NCAAs. And man, but before we switch, Henry, let's talk like that Carter Starachi. How do you feel about, because I don't know, did they change it back or did they allow it now to where they're saying, guys, if you're in college for 5 years, you could win 5 titles?
No,
Or did they change it back to where you have a 4-year running, you have a 5-year running clock?
I personally don't think they should have did that, dude. I don't like that
I
COVID
agree.
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I agree because now I don't know if you can get another 5-timer.
Yeah, it's like I think you got to keep these rules pure, dude. Like, it's all right, man. Everybody, you lose a year, you come back, and then you guys redo it. But Starachi becomes the first wrestler to win 5 national titles, but anybody else that won 4 national titles would win 5 too. Cal Sanderson, 100% undefeated. You have Kyle Dake who did it after. No, the first one was Pat Smith, Cal Sanderson, Kyle Dake, Logan Stieber, Yanni Dakamahalis, and then now you have you have Carter Starachi. That's pretty good, man. I got my history down. I think I did them all in order too. But
I don't one is different. One set himself apart.
But a lot of people were complaining Kamaru because he's going for his 5th or whatnot. So instead of them putting him last, they ended up putting him first. It felt a little weird. Yeah. It felt a little weird, but I will say this, Kamaru, like the match wasn't that exciting, so it was almost like, all right, man, then maybe they, because Starachi, I will say this about Starachi, I'm not hating. He keeps the matches too close to, like Kel Center, he dominated. Gable Stevenson, he goes out there to score points. And a lot of people, you know what I mean? So the people decided that it was, implied. Dude, the main event was great, dude. Like the way that thing went down, it ended up being like the best thing that's happened. But other than that, I will say this, dude, Starachi's not getting that love from people, or from like it doesn't feel right to people. Like even for me, I was like, all right, 5 national championships. No, it's great, dude. But he's just not getting that damn credit, dude.
I think I agree with you, Henry. I think a big part of it is the quality, kind of how the matches are going. If I win the bracket and I beat 5 or 6 guys, and the matches were 5-3, 4-2, 3-2, 1-0, 2-0. It's not as great as 16-2, 15-1, 15-0, pin. That's really what people want to see, and on top of that as well, Henry, it's we got the explanation for JB at the shout out to my man Jordan Burroughs. JB kind of put out a great explanation of why they went in the order that they went in. And it makes sense. It makes sense for the broadcast and everybody. It made sense because, and then you start, had that match, the Carter Starachi match, had that match been a great blockbuster match, hey, great. Now everyone is engaged, everyone is in tune, and they want to see what's next. And if it's a dud, it's a dud. But now everyone is like, okay, now let's slowly work into this, and they get bigger and better until we get to the main event. So I'm not mad at it. Congratulations to Starachi for becoming the first 5-time national champion.
Yeah, but I did see this too, Kamaru. I did see Starachi in the back. Right. And I said, and I talked to him for a little bit. I'm like, hey man, don't get into MMA right now. Like you're a young kid. Like you have 3 years to make an Olympic team. You know what I'm saying? Because you see him with his, see him on Instagram with his gloves and hitting all that. It's like, dude, take your time. Like, still let your brain develop. I felt like we got in at the right age, honestly, Kamaru. I feel like we really got in there. Like, these dudes are still in their early 20s, bro. I want to say Starachi is, 24, 23? Something along those lines. Like, dude,
there's really not. You're right, Henry. I would say this is what I thought too, and I loved about it is, and this was then. I feel like this was kind of a requirement then to become elite and get to really the top. Is I felt that I needed those 2 years of international experience. Yeah. Because those were the 2 years now that I had men. I was wrestling grown men. I'm wrestling these guys, Bryce Hasselman, Andy Rovat, and Jake Herbert. I'm wrestling these grown men that have been out for years and years. they've been wrestling and they had grown man strength. And I was able to kind of find my way in that, or
No, fuck
I
that. You
wasn't
got humbled,
successful in
Kamaru,
that.
like all of us. Like, you
Yeah,
go to the you
exactly.
can be a 5-time NCAA champion. Once you get to international, boy, you get a spanking, dude. You know what I'm saying? Those
Exactly.
spankings will come.
And it builds a different layer in you, and it expands wrestling a little bit. So by the time I got into MMA, my knowledge of wrestling was not just MMA, was not just NCAAs, wasn't just collegiate. Because listen, Henry, this is the thing: when you switch over to MMA, your wrestling level does this. Your wrestling muscles does this. All that starts to come down fast. You start to lose it.
Yeah.
That's true. You don't use the muscles, you lose it. Your back is not going to be as strong. It's going to be strong, obviously, because we've been doing this for years, but it's going to start to diminish.
Yeah.
And you can go fast or you can go slow. And obviously, the higher the knowledge you have with international competition and experience and just feeling grown man, then you start to slow that process down a little bit. So where you get into MMA, you're having just astronomical success because you can just play with these guys. So I agree with you in that sentiment, Henry, that yes, I would I would take those 3 years to go wrestle. And yeah, you could always hit mitts on the side. You could always grapple, do jiu-jitsu on the side on days you just want to play around. But I would take those years to really focus in and try to make those teams. But Henry, I would say that was the old school approach. Like, it sucks to say, but I guess we are old school now. So
No, you're right. You're right, Kamaru. But I think he still needs to do it, because if not, he's gonna have that chip on his shoulder. Like, you got to go for it. Whether he makes a team or not, like, he would have to go up against Aaron Brooks, and if he goes 74 kilos, you have to go.
Do you think he can make the team? Exactly.
Like, yeah, he needs to get that question mark out of there. And Bo Nickel's a big influence on that, but Bo Nickel knew that more likely he wasn't going to crack the lineup. As good as he is as a wrestler, he wasn't going to beat David Taylor, dude. In my opinion, could he? Yeah, but would he? It's another thing, because he already got 2 cracks at him and he didn't do it. And David Taylor pretty much controlled that match. But other than that, Kumar, the NCAAs were absolutely fire, bro. Like, dude, I love the NCAAs.
I seen something.
Oh, you saw? Oh, you see me? Look at that. President Trump remembered me. He's like, "Thank you. How are you doing?" And I said, "Good, Mr. President." But I want to show you this, and this is off camera. Actually, Dylan has it. Dilly Dally, Dylan Rush.
It's not off camera because I see the camera.
No, I know, but look, he gave me a.
Hey, you got a button.
Yeah, he gave me this, dude. He gave me a seal.
Is that like one of those buttons that your mom gives you and you put on your prom jacket?
Yeah.
Or your homecoming? Oh no, there's not a pin on the back of that. Oh,
check it out, man. So he gave me this, dude. He said, "Don't show nobody." Like, I think he was talking about more. I think he was talking about more about the event, but dude, I want to make a necklace out of it. The seal, the president of the United States. I'm gonna have Dylan send you when he hands it to me, and then he.
Hey, tell me you're an immigrant without telling me you're an immigrant.
Hey,
she just said I want to make a necklace.
So I'm super stoked, dude. So if you guys want to get a little glance of that,
that is beautiful.
Yeah, no,
that's beautiful.
Awesome.
I'm hating big time, Henry, because I want that,
dude. So I'm gonna make a chain off of this. You know me, bro. So
don't
not just that, dude. So when I met him, we just started talking politics. I couldn't really hear because it was freaking loud. But I had a good 5 minutes with him, and then he introduced me to Elon. He's like Henry, which was freaking music to my ear. He called me by my name. He's like, Henry. He's like, you know Elon? I'm like, oh, Elon.
Cejudo.
I'm like, Elon, nice to meet you. No, I just said thank you, man. I think Elon he doesn't have to do what he's doing, dude. Catching all these people, he's got all the money in the damn world. And I just said thank you.
Oh, Elon was there. Whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
is that him sitting down there right there to the right?
Yeah, that's him. That's him in the black hoodie, dude.
Hey, so did he bring the A-team out like he did for New York, the fights?
Oh, he brought it. Just him and Elon. He got the governor. I thought it was better, dude. He had that girl, Caroline, who does all the stuff at the Pentagon. Is it the Pentagon?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah. She was there.
Yeah, press secretary.
She was there at the. Yeah, she was there at the fight in New York.
Yeah, dude.
So he's bringing the A-team everywhere, and he's and I love this because he's letting them know that, hey, it's okay for us to still live a normal life. Because, once you get in a position of power like this, all those politicians hide because they're afraid for their safety. Can I do this? Can I not do this? Can I? He said, no, come with me. You good. We chilling. Yeah, that's us right there. That first row. That's us right there. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats. Y'all get up, move. That's our seats right there.
No, they're
You know,
they're
so I
all
love that.
yeah, all high level politicians that make it. Dude, I want my whole thing is I wanted to sit next to him, bro. But they're like, nah, dude,
Of
you
course you
ain't.
did.
Cause I wanted to fucking, I wanted to hang out with them, dude.
You want to hang out?
But they said no, but you can meet him, so they came and grabbed me, and then he knew it, bro, because I was bugging, bro. When I got
My man said, I want to go sit by them. I want to go sit. Hey, I'm hating big time. I want that. I want that button.
45th and 47th president, bro. And I love this comeback, dude. But all in all, bro, the NCAA championships really took. It's an event. You have to go next year, bro. We should probably roll together too next time. I think it'll be sick, dude.
I'm down.
We could probably even do pound for pound. Quite honestly, there's a lot of dudes that show up, bro. You're like, whoa, homegirls here, like Holly Holmes. There's a lot of people that from the MMA world that ended up going that we had no idea that they're actually coming.
Right. No, for sure. Definitely, we're gonna try to do it. But yeah, and you can sit by me too when we go. So I like that. All right. Well, Henry, before we go, breaking news. UFC legend, arguably the greatest heavyweight champion we've had, Cain Velasquez, as we know, was involved in that 2022 shooting due to his a situation. For those who don't know, it was a tough situation with his family, something that happened to his child, and he was involved in the shooting to where he was imprisoned for, I think, approximately 9 months before finally being released to home confinement, to where a very, very tough and unfortunate situation. But he's been awaiting a verdict for a long, long time after going to trial. And Henry, the decision is finally here. It seems like Cain Velasquez is going to be going to prison. I believe they sentenced him to 5 years in prison. Of course, that is going to be with time served, which is, I would say, great news. Always great news. Time served is great news because you don't want to go back and still do that time. 5 years with time served, and I don't know what's the percentage of time that you have to actually do, but I think that might end up being approximately 3 years. So
yeah, it's unfortunate, Kamaru, because obviously us as parents, bro, we would do anything for our kids.
Absolutely.
We would do absolutely anything, man. And I think when people put their money where their mouth is, like, that's Cain Velasquez, man. I've known that dude since I was 15 years old, bro. And the dude that, especially being fucking Mexican descent, bro, like Mexicans will kill for their family, dude. And I think it's unfortunate because, he's going to be prosecuted for somebody that did something crazy to him. But I think he also learned a lot, man. I think, and it's funny, man. Cain hit me up like a week ago. And he said, "Hey, bro, you're going to be in Mexico." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." But we didn't chit chat too much. So it meant a lot to me to hear from him. But it's unfortunate, dude. But I'm just thinking those 2 years, bro. I'm not sure how old his kids are, but dude, 2 years to not be around your kid, fuck. It's like being in hell, dude. Sometimes when I travel, Kamal, like, I miss my daughter, I miss my son. Like,
Absolutely.
I want to be there with them. And he's got 2 years from that. And I was just talking to Dylan, and it's like, apparently I say, President Trump is a diehard MMA fan. Could he be able to part him? But I don't think the only person that's able to pardon Cain Velasquez, it's not President Trump. It actually goes to the states. So it's going to be Governor Newsom if he decides that this is something that maybe he could be pardoned on. But, the law's the law, dude. I get it. I don't judge Cain. Cain's a hero, dude. But whatever it is that we can do to the Velasquez family and whatnot, it's, we're here, man. The MMA community loves Cain Velasquez. And you're right, dude. To me, he is the greatest heavyweight of all time, dude. What he was able to do in his prime, dude, before he went through all these crazy injuries was amazing, man. So a big shout out to Cain, man. Cain, we are with you in spirit. You are my hermano, mi carnal. And that's it, man. I don't know what to say, Kamaru. It's a bitter day today, but we're happy that you get 15 or 20 for attempted murder,
Absolutely,
dude.
absolutely. I think this was of course, when you have to go away, that's never a great thing. It's not a great scenario, but I say based on what we were looking at and what he had to deal with, I think this is not bad news. I think this is not bad news. Like I said, obviously you never want to go away, but I don't think this is bad news overall. So, had good luck to Kane and his family in dealing with this tough time with him going away. But I think now that he actually has a resolution to what's been just kind of hanging over his head all this time, is you never know how much time am I going to get, what's going on, what's not going, to finally have a resolution. I think it's good for him because now the family could potentially build and move on and know that, okay, in 2 years or 2.5 or 3 years, our father's coming back home and we get to rebuild our life and move on. So, Kane, keep your head up. I know you too. I've been watching Kane ever since wrestling in college, watching him out there doing his thing in college. So, yeah, Cain Velasquez, shout out to you. Keep your head up, my brother. The MMA community is with you, and we are always going to be here praying for you. So, man, Henry, yeah, got that resolution. That's a big one. That's big news right there.
Yeah.
Big news. But as always, my brother, mi hermano, I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
And we are out.